Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome my guest for the first time here at GHCR. He's been a guest on my WHCR show, at least on 2 or maybe 3 occasions. He's been an excellent guest. And so I'm excited today to have him on because I'm excited about the work that Mitchell is doing. And his financial experience spans 25 years, covers working with the public and being a CFO of a Berkshire Hathaway company. He owned 5 businesses, served as the CFO of a community college, and as a county commissioner and city councilman.
So the historical African.
And the Pouch Book plan was developed based on his expertise, but more importantly, was put to test and proven by Mitchell and his wife Suzanne over 20 years as they raised a blended family of 7. Ladies and gentlemen, a gentleman who was down $100,000 in debt put the Pouch plan into action, and here he is sharing his principles. Ladies and gentlemen, a gentleman who was down $100,000 in debt. I'm hearing the echo. Put the Pouch plan in. Mitchell. So can you hear me, Mitchell?
Well, good afternoon, Rick.
Yeah.
And happy Sunday to you.
Happy Sunday to you.
I was picking up a little echo there, but I
was picking up an echo also.
said it's a great Sunday afternoon. How are you today?
Oh, man, tremendous. But I'm excited to be sharing this information because people need this information, Mitchell. So can you tell us, so you wrote a book called The Pouch Plan Budget, the simple way to find hidden money, improve your life, and build wealth. Can you talk a little bit about that? Mitchell, can you hear me?
Sure.
Can
Rick?
you
There's a platitude in life. I can hear you great.
Okay.
Says if you do money right, everything else gets easier. You do money wrong, everything in life gets harder. So if you can learn to tell your money where to go and what to do, your life starts getting easier. That very first is all about. That gives them 95% of all the benefits of traditional full-fledged accounting and bookkeeping and budgeting with only 5%.
Yeah. I'm hearing you going in and out, Mitchell. I'm not hearing you clearly. So can you say that again?
Let me try getting on a better. Yeah, I'm showing a great signal, but yeah, I'm having a hard time picking you up too. Let me try getting a little higher at this location I'm in.
Okay.
Is that any better?
You sound clear to me right now.
Is that good there? Can you hear that good?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you now, loud and clear.
Rick, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me? I can hear you loud and clear, Mitchell.
Yeah, I can hear you okay.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So can you run that back what you just said, Mitchell?
What? You bet. Yeah, let me run back to that again.
Yeah.
There's a truism in life that if you do money right, life gets easier and better. You do it wrong, your life gets nothing but harder. That's what the Pouch Plan's about. It's about giving people a money management plan that helps them to do life right. Because it's amazing how fast your life starts improving when you get the money part of it right. And if you get that part right, then everything else starts getting better quickly. And that's what the Pouch Plan does, is gives you the power and the ability and the results of a traditional, full-fledged accounting budget type of scenario with only 5% of the effort that traditional it takes to do that.
Right.
So that's the secret and the power of the Pouch Plan.
Let me run. I'm going to run by a scenario, and you tell me if this is correct. I'm moving in the right direction. You know anything about basketball, Mitchell? Do you know anything about basketball?
I do.
So in basketball, they have a thing called a point guard,
I
right?
do.
And
You know,
if that was
know a lot
radio,
about basketball.
well, if that was radio, he would be considered engineer, right?
Correct.
And if the other players on the court don't know what the point guard
Okay.
is doing, how they gonna play the game if they don't understand what the point guard is doing? And the point guard is making faces and throwing his hands up, and you don't know what's going on, right? Is that similar to the pouch plan?
That's it's a great analogy. It's a great analogy. Yeah, there's another great saying that says, if you'll tell your money where to go and what to do, it will do it. But if you don't, it just disappears.
Yeah, because usually in other basketball games, I'm usually the point guard, so I understand what's going on at all times. I'm the point guard. I'm not the shooting guard or the center. I am the point guard. So that's how that goes. But Mitchell, you know what? I'm also excited the fact that you said that there was a housing.
A point guard affects every.
Go ahead.
Point.
Say it again, Mitchell.
Okay, you cut out on me there, Rick. I lost you.
No.
There?
I'm listening to you. You said the point guard.
I couldn't hear what you said. You cut out on me.
No, I didn't say anything. I was waiting to hear you. So you said the point guard affects what now?
Yeah, the point guard. The point guard controls where the ball goes to and where everybody moves toward, the play they run and everything else. That's exactly what money does in your life.
Wow.
It touches every single area of your life. And so if you get it wrong, it's precarious.
So let's say you have is there a difference between having a high school point guard and, say, a Magic Johnson point guard? Is there a big difference?
It's a huge difference. Obviously, there's a huge difference.
Yeah.
But here's what's true. I mean, at a high school level, you don't need a Magic Johnson point guard. You just need a good, solid high school point guard to have a championship team.
No mistake.
Yeah.
You know, so people with their finances don't always need some complex, overly impossible to do system set up. They need something that's simple, doable, and usable.
Now, this housing development that you are doing this program with, tell us a little bit about this program that you're doing with this housing development.
Well, if you're a participant in the Section 8 housing program in our country, part of one of the requirements that the providers of the Section 8 housing do is they're supposed to be giving some residential services, and one of them is some financial literacy training. And we have partnered with a couple of these companies that have residential services provided in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Oklahoma. And we offer a course now that takes 2 weeks. It teaches an individual how to put a plan together for where they want their money to go, and then how to put a system in place to see if that plan happens continuously. If you can do those two things, then you can control where your money's going. And that is an exciting thing to watch people who have never been able to get control of that part of their life have what we call an aha moment and just go, this is a life changer for me.
It sounds like me that you have to have some discipline with your money. Like, I know a lot of people that are very undisciplined with their money.
Well, I would tell you that discipline is tough, and you know, my thoughts on that is that willpower will always fail you eventually. It's like a muscle. Even when you work it out and it gets stronger, you still can take it all the way to failure with enough pressure on it. And this world puts a ton of pressure on us financially. Our culture does, our peers do. there's always pressure on us financially. So you need to come up with a better plan, in my opinion, and this is part of what the Pouch Plan does, is we try to take willpower off the table. We try to have a system that you determine up front how you want your money to go and where you want it to go to, and then put a system in place that reinforces that behavior until that behavior becomes a habit. Because once it becomes a habit, it's stop. You don't even have to think about it. It happens automatically.
Right. But how do you take willpower off the table?
And then you receive tremendous benefits from the repetitiveness of the program over and over and over again. And by repetitiveness, I'm talking about every paycheck.
Right. Wow. Every
time you get a paycheck, you go through the same type of little procedure. Then you're tremendously until next paycheck.
Uh-huh.
And all the time that you're doing this, you see your finances getting better week by week or month by month, and the pressure starts dropping in certain areas of your life. Your performance typically goes up at work and in your relationships quickly when your finances start getting back into shape, because nobody wants to talk about areas of their lives that they're struggling in. You're struggling financially, like I say, it affects almost every area of your life.
Now, Mitchell, you're from Texas, right?
I am from Texas, northeast part of Texas.
Okay, so northeast, that would be, what city is that?
I'm about 120 miles north of Texarkana.
Okay, I'm not familiar
So I'm in the far northeast corner of Texas.
Okay, I'm not too familiar with that area. Is there any major cities that I might recognize that's close by there?
Well, Tyler, Texas is about 75 miles away. That's the closest good-sized town. That's where Earl Campbell was from. You remember him?
I remember Earl Campbell. He was a great player. He played with the Houston Oilers.
Great player. Played for the University of Texas and for Houston Oilers. Yep. He's from Tyler, Texas, and Tyler's got about 100,000 people, and it's the closest town to us. I live in a really small town, only about 15,000 people where I live.
Wow. Well, the cities that I'm familiar with in Texas, of course, the big ones like Dallas, Houston. What else? Dallas, Houston, Fort Worth. Cities like that. I'm familiar with. Actually, I set foot in Fort Worth, Texas. Mitchell, do you remember that story? Mm-hmm. I told you that when we went through Fort Worth and we stopped in the store. Remember that story? We stopped in the store and I started talking bad about the Dallas Cowboys, and the lady that was behind the counter, she gave me the look of death. Like, how dare you talk about the... she was serious, too. And I was like, because, like, my neighborhood, we talked about different teams. We talked bad about different teams. It was just in sport. But when I started talking bad about the Cowboys, because they were selling pieces of turf from different games, championship games and Super Bowls. I said something derogatory about the Cowboys, man. And that look that she gave me, Mitchell, I shut my mouth up. I didn't say not another word. I'll never forget that, man. They serious about their football in Texas. Would you agree with that, Mitchell?
They are very serious about it. Absolutely very serious about it.
Yeah.
But there's other parts of the world that are serious, too. I remember eating in a little restaurant in Philadelphia one time and had something on that said Dallas Cowboys on me, and I wasn't sure they were going to let me finish my meal.
Wow.
Yeah, the Eagles don't care much for the Cowboys.
I could imagine. But, they won the Super Bowl year before last, so I know they're happy about that.
Yep.
They didn't win it last year, but they won it the year before. And they beat
this
Brady.
brings up an interesting subject. Talk about, a lot of people pay a lot of attention to the pro athletes and stuff. This is a great time to bring that. It really doesn't make how much difference how much money you make. It's whether or not you can control it. Because I think I shared with this before that like 60% of the players in the NBA declare bankruptcy within 5 years of leaving the league.
Wow, that's phenomenal. That is a phenomenal
scary.
stat.
It's just scary.
It is. Very scary.
So if you're out there thinking, I don't need to do this because I don't have a lot of money, it could be the reason you don't have a lot of money is because you're not doing this.
Right. But it works. It works for people that have a lot of money and for people also that don't have a lot of money.
Absolutely. I mean, our income over the 25 years that we've been doing the Pouch Plan, it probably quadrupled, went up 4 times during that period of time, and we still use the Pouch Plan exclusively.
Wow. So, Mitchell, here you are just starting this program, $100,000 in debt. What gave you the confidence to know that this program would even work?
Well, we didn't, but that's that old saying, when you hit rock bottom, it's best if you stop digging and start, piling up dirt. And we just went in to see what would work because there weren't many options out there when we started doing this 25 years ago. And, nowadays there are other options out there and they're all good. The Dave Ramsey stuff is good. There's some Randy Alcorn stuff that's good. Chris Hogan has some great stuff to say. There's some fantastic folks out there that will help you along this path as well. But the truth is, and that's a great question too, because here's what happened. We saw improvement almost instantly. I mean, within weeks, days almost of starting to put a plan in place, you gain confidence.
Right.
And then when you see the plan start to work and produce results, you gain more confidence. And so it's a never-ending cycle building upward, not downward anymore.
Mitchell, listen to me very carefully. Are you listening? What I'm about to say. Listen to me very carefully. Are you listening, Mitchell?
I'm listening.
This is a different kind of program than the one that you usually have me on. I'm at the college, WHCR. This is GHCR now. We are in a housing development, right? Got it?
Okay.
So that means that we could do things a little different. We can't talk about the book. And I think we could even talk about how much the book costs and how you can get the book. Is that correct, Mr. Engineer? Mr. Engineer? Is that correct? Can I say how much? I can say how much the book costs, Doug. So you telling me for $14.95, I can get this book, Doug, the Pouch Book Plan. Is that correct?
That's
yes, you
correct.
Can say how much.
If they want to get the electronic version, the Amazon Kindle version, they can order that for $3.95.
Can you repeat that? Can you repeat that, please?
The Kindle version or the electronic version of the book is $3.95.
Just to let everybody know, we are on YouTube Live along with our website. And if somebody sends a message to Mr. Mitchell
and
how to get the book, Mitchell will tell them, and we'll put it in the chat box over here on our YouTube Live channel at Live at Grant. You were saying, Mitchell.
Well, that sounds great. That sounds great. And you can get it on Amazon, or you can get it on our website, which is Pouch, Pouch Plan, PLAN, all one word, pouchplan.com.
Mm-hmm. All right, and again, the book is $14.95 if you want to get the book.
$14.95 if you want the print version.
And it seems like a pretty easy read. It doesn't seem complicated. It seems like an easy read.
It's not complicated. That's just it. Just because something is simple doesn't mean it's not powerful. I guess it's kind of like a lot of things in education. It just got a life of its own and became this really complicated thing you have to do to learn how to do money, and that's not true. That's not true. You just need to make some very basic decisions up front and then have some sort of system in place that helps you keep those decisions in place, and you start winning instantly.
Wow. Mitchell, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a copy of this book. I mean, I have my copy here, but I'm going to get another copy for my daughter because we had a conversation last night, or yesterday afternoon. And Mitchell, she was telling me how great that she's doing with her money. She said she's doing great, that she's making the right moves and the right decisions. Do you know how happy that made me?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
So now I have to get her a copy of this book. I have to. She don't even have
Well,
the
if
book
she has
yet.
some good habits. If she has some good habits already in place,
Yeah.
this will give her a system to make those habits happen over and over and over again.
Wow, nice.
And she'll really start kicking some rear.
Nice. So, listen, I want to keep in touch with you because I think this is important. Because, like you said, once you get your money right, what other things happen good for people once they get their money right? Give me an example.
Well, most people will find that their obviously their relationships with with important people in their life start getting better because the stress level drops. Okay.
Right.
That's number one. Number two, when you start getting good at something, you like to talk about it. And being able to talk about money with the significant other in your life is extremely important.
Uh-huh. What about...
But who wants to talk about something they're ignorant and mess up all the time? Nobody.
Right.
So you get a double whammy on that one. And then I say the third big one is that most people's employment opportunities just start getting better immediately. When you have a little system in place where you start saving some money, and you have to go to the doctor, you got the money to pay to go to the doctor, and you get to go to work the next day.
Right.
So like I do, that the main thing people have to do with work is show up.
Okay. Right.
You get somebody that comes to work every day and shows up and tries hard. Well, having money in your pocket helps you make those commitments.
Uh-huh. Wow. Now, how are
the little things in life don't knock you off.
Yeah. Now, how are your children? How are they taking to the system? Are they working the system?
Well, I will tell you that 3 of them are doing it. One of them still likes to do a big fancy spreadsheet and put his stuff in every month. I tell him he's wasted time doing that, but he likes to do that. They all have gotten some of our frugality genes, I will say, in that they understand the concept of just silly debt. They don't get there, and because there's a difference between good debt and bad debt. Not all debt's bad debt, okay? That's where I do differ from some of my compadres in the financial literacy area. Coming from the business world, I've seen debt used properly. And I think buying a home with debt, if you have enough of a down payment to be able to withstand a downturn in the market, is a good thing for most people. Mm-hmm. So I'm not anti-debt like some others are, but I think there is bad debt. And consumer debt, stuck on credit cards, is bad debt. Borrowing more than you can repay, it's bad debt.
Right.
So our kids have learned that, but the main thing our kids have learned is that if you have some sort of plan in place, you're in the battle. You can fight. You have something to fight with. Without a plan, if you're just spending everything that you get in until you get your next check, you're losing the battle every single time.
Well, the other thing is that most people, Mitchell, when they get their money, the first thing they do, or they get their paycheck, is they pay their bills first. That's usually what a lot of people do. They pay their bills first, or people that don't have a lot of money knowledge, they will pay their bills first. What do you say to that?
I think there's 3 things you have to pay. Okay, you have to pay your have-tos, your have-tos, your have-tos, your need-tos, and your want-tos. And the have-tos are the things that keep you alive and keep you clothed and keep you sheltered.
Okay.
Those are the have-tos. The need-tos are the things that make your life doable. That's going to be like if you need to buy, a pass for the subway, if you need to pay for your car insurance, if you need to pay, some other needs, I'd put food in that category because most people can you need to eat food. Those things are needs tos. The want tos are the very end, and this is where people get in trouble. They like to spend the money on the want tos before they take care of the have tos and the need tos.
Doug, you just said something.
I was saying, like the need tos, things you have to you need to get for your kids where you didn't plan for, and they need it. I was just throwing that in there. Sideline.
Mitchell?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm getting a bad echo again here.
He said that things that your kids might need that you didn't plan for that might come up. What about in a case like that?
Yeah, but see, that's one of your, that's a need to. You need to get a savings account set up that's got between $1,000 and $2,000 in it to take care of the hits that come along every single year, the surprise expenses that come along.
Right.
And if you have that, then I call it the oil derrick. Being down here in Texas, we call it the oil derrick plan. And think of one out in the Gulf of Mexico, and the platform's raised up. It's not on sea level. It's raised up, 50 feet above the sea level or 100 feet above the sea level. That's so the storm and the waves can pass underneath it and not destroy it. That's what that personal emergency fund does, is it puts you up above the waves of life that like to come by and hit you all the time. You build that $1,000 to $2,500 up in cash savings that you've got stuck somewhere, and those storms of life come rolling underneath you and don't knock you over.
What is it called? Personal emergency money?
Personal emergency money. Absolutely.
So, Mitchell, ladies and gentlemen, author, the Pouch Plan Budget, Mitchell Walker. Mitchell, what do you say? I'm in New York City, the Big Apple. I know you're familiar with it, and I ride the subways and the buses. And a lot on the buses, you see a lot of people sneaking on the bus now. Does that mean that they don't have a plan in place for their needs, like their transportation? And
that's a hard thing for me to make a call. Each individual could have made. There's so many possibilities that could have happened, but I will tell you, it doesn't matter what your current situation is. By starting to make better choices, you can change it.
Well, if there's an agent on the bus or officer on the bus, and you get a ticket, it costs. I believe it costs $275 to ride the bus in the subway, right? If you get caught, that's $100. $100 compared to $275. That's a big deal. That's a big difference.
Oh yeah.
Doug, you want to say something? Hold on a second, Mitchell. Doug, go ahead.
Well, you might have to. I don't know if you can hear me from here, but I think a lot of people are doing it out of protest against. They raise the fare all the time. They have the meetings to talk about the fares, and they raise it every single time. And I'm kind of thinking maybe people are doing it as a sort of protest, because the people who are driving the train and the buses, they're going to get their check anyway. And even if you go there and beg them not to raise the fare, they do it anyway. And I'm talking about here, and this is probably the largest transportation system in the country. And they raise the fare continuously without, they have sham meetings and stuff. So maybe, do you think there's a little bit of that in it as well? I want to ask the guest that.
Mitchell, what
maybe you didn't hear me because I wasn't young.
Mitchell, did you hear what he said?
I did hear some of that, and I can understand the principle that we're talking about there. But I think if we'll kind of examine that a bit and understand it, that guy who doesn't pay that $2.75 bus ticket and puts himself at risk for the $100 fine, he's looking at the wrong criteria to make that decision with. If he can't control what some of those other people do,
right?
He can't control what they get. He can't control how they act,
right.
But he can control what he does,
right?
And to put himself at risk for $100 over $2.75 is a poor decision.
But it's not really a risk, because they are, they have no way to force everybody to pay. They don't have a way. The system is that huge, and there's a big level of resentment. And even though you're right, if you do go over there in front of the police or something like that, you'll do that. But if you notice, they've been trying to hire more police because they know that they can't protect the system. The system is huge. And again, like I said, a lot of people, that's the same subway ride that used to cost 15 cents, costs $2.75. It's the same train, the same everything. And I think that's kind of what people are looking at. There's no value proposition for the ride. And I think the transit authority kind of missed that. They're thinking, we got to get our revenue out of this. And like you guys have been saying, if you make a bad decision, this is going to cost you that. But it's all punitive. And this is a system, a subway system that belongs to everybody. So you can't have if you went to the store and I brought a soda and the soda is 35 cents, and 2 years later you're charging $2.75 for the same soda, I mean, come on. You see what I'm saying? I think that's the part that's not in this conversation. So what did you guys say about that?
Mitchell?
Well, once again, I'm going to tell you that you take the politics out of it, you can take the other people out of it, and when you come down to controlling what you do with your money, you can blame other people and other situations all the time, but until you've got a plan in place, you're not going to win. You're simply because there's too many other people. I use this saying every now and then. If you don't have a plan for your money, rest assured a bunch of other people do. And their plans will triumph over your no plan every single time.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there it is
so
right there.
Your best defense against all those things that are unfair, all those things that don't seem right, all those things that seem as though you're being taken advantage of, is to get yourself a plan that gets you past those things.
Right.
Because that's the part you can control, not the other part.
Now, is it a sense of power within yourself when you can pay for your transportation no matter what it might cost? Is that a sense of power?
Sure it is. I mean, just think about it. It gives you freedom.
Right.
We take that for granted that we can move around in this country anywhere we want to go. There's a cost associated with it. But if you can't come up with the cost to do it, then your freedom is limited to a certain degree. So when you come up with a plan that takes care of that need, and that's a need in your life. Remember, that was one of those things we were talking about a while ago, is the ability to get back and forth to work. When you put a plan together to make sure that need is taken care of in your life, you feel empowered. You feel the freedom that you get from that. Plus, you start getting positive feedback from all other areas of your life.
Yeah, and you know what, Mitchell, it's nice when you have your own money, because let's just say, hypothetically, let's say, the engineer is smiling. I don't know why he's smiling, but I'm going to say something. Let's say you have a radio show on Sundays, right? You interview people.
Okay.
And then after the radio show, you might go out, you might want to go to get some lunch or snack. You can say, engineer, I would like to buy you a sandwich, or I would like to treat you to a bean pie, or a I could treat you to something because I've taken care of my money. That's powerful, Mitchell.
It's extremely powerful, and don't get confused here about just, if you put a plan in place that only gets you wealthy and it doesn't help anybody else, you're probably going to be a miserable human being.
Are you familiar with the long handle spoon story, Mitchell?
We are wired to help one another. We're wired to care about one another. We're wired to contribute to one another. And that giving away a part of what you earn and what you've saved and what you've made is the benefits of that are unbelievably empowering, and just they'll grow throughout your life.
Yeah. Mitchell, are you familiar with the long handle spoon story?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Are you familiar with the long handle spoon story?
Oh yes, where they got to reach across the table.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's a great example. You ought
Yeah.
to tell that story. That's a great example.
Yeah, but like, so what I do, Mitchell, I'm not different from anybody else, but when I hear something inspirational or motivational, I pay attention because that's where my interest lies, right? And I heard somebody say
Right.
something yesterday that caught my attention, and I want to share with you. You let me know what you think. In reference to what I heard was respect the house. When you hear that term, Mitchell, respect the house, what becomes present for you?
Yeah, did you say respect the house or
Respect the house.
heart?
Respect the house.
Respect the house. Okay. It's almost like that statement, "To thine own self be true." I believe that we're all created special with as individuals with something only we bring to the table in this life. And when you respect the heart or respect the house, to me that means that you're looking for what is that makes you special, so that you can bring that forward.
Wow. Well, I want to share a story with you. The person that is doing the engineering now, the gentleman is brilliant because we built this radio studio in a housing development project in housing development. That's brilliant in itself, right? But this is a little bit more brilliant. The engineer, the person that's engineering right now, has some health challenges, and he respected the house enough to say, "I'm going to make some changes to my health." He respected the house. What do you hear? What do you hear there, Mitchell? What do you hear? What do you hear?
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And, taking care of yourself financially allows you to take better care of that house.
Wow.
Just think about it. If you have a rundown house, if you don't maintain it, you don't take care of it, if you don't put the money back into it to fix it up, to keep it good, it's going to go downhill, and nobody, including you, is going to want to be in it.
Yeah. So, Doug, that's one of the new quotes that I heard last night, and that term, respect the house. What becomes present for you, Doug Fraser, when you hear that?
Well, it reminds me of when I was a athlete, and we would have to go in and make sure that when we played against someone else, we would follow our dictates and rules and our policies of our team or our home field location or our gym, and come there and be respectful. So it's kind of literal for me.
Yeah.
Respecting the house. So it reminded me of when I was an athlete, we would when we would go to where we practice at or where we played our home games, we wouldn't act up.
We would act up.
No,
so Mitchell, here's the house. The house is your body is a house. Where you live is a house. Your community is a house. It's just so vast and so. When we talk about protect the house, or I think there was a marketing tag that said protect this house. I think Under Armour did that. Protect this house. I know when I was teaching boxing at Columbia University, I used to tell the students to protect the house because they would just be throwing punches and not know how to protect them. So I said, no, you have to protect the house. So when I hear this, it's kind of right in line with that. Respect the house. So protect the house, but there's also respect the house. So when you go to someone's house, you have to respect their house. Is that correct, Mitchell?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, if I come to visit your house, I'm going to have the ultimate respect in your house because you was kind enough to invite me to your house. I have to respect your house. I mean, that's just common sense, right? But there's a lot of people.
Exactly.
There's a lot of people that go to people's houses that they don't respect the house. I see it quite often. Yeah, I see it quite often, Mitchell. Even if you go, no matter if you go to a restaurant or anywhere you go, I believe that is in order of respect the house.
That's very interesting. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and now check this out. By practicing the pouch plan budget, you are respecting the house.
I like that a lot too. It makes a lot of sense, and that's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Well, let me get your website again, Mitchell.
It's Pouch, Pouch, plan, PLAN, all one word, just pouchplan.com.
Yes.
And all kinds of good things they can check out on there. They can order the book. We give away a ton of stuff. We give away spreadsheets. We give away retirement calculators. We give away future value of investment calculators. And so they ought to come on there and get a look. They can find out about the course that we teach.
Okay.
My email address is on there. I think my phone number's on there. And you're welcome to somebody's welcome to call me if they got a question.
All right. That's wonderful, Mitch. I want to thank you. I'm going to be in touch. You're going to get tired of hearing from me. I'm going to be calling you often because I think that the work that you're doing is important. I believe that getting your money right will help you in other areas.
Yeah, just like.
Go ahead.
I appreciate it. I'm always willing to hear from you. I think the effort you're putting into your community is making a difference. And I know, like I said earlier, if you do money right, life gets easier. But if you do it wrong, it just gets harder. And I want people to get their lives easier.
Wow, wonderful. One more time, let me have your website and contact information. One more time before we leave.
It's Pouch, Pouch, plan, PLAN.
Right.
.com. And they can find out all about what we do. They can find about, they can download. I mean, I give away a spreadsheet. I give away instructions for the spreadsheet. We give all that to you. Our goal, like I said, is to help people improve their lives financially, no matter what their situation is, because when you improve the financial part of your life, all other areas of your life get better.
Mitchell Walker, I want to thank you. And like I said, I will be in touch, and we will continue this conversation and continue the work that we're doing. You helping people, and on my side helping people as well. So thank you, Mitchell.
Thank you, Rick. Y'all have a great day.
All right, you have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday with your family.
Will do.
All right. Okay.